Hey Oaks, and welcome back to sort of a Sisterlocks Sunday, but more of a get to know me. I did say last week that I'd give you guys any updates if I got a retightening, and yes, I did. And it's just so nice to see my scalp, and just to have like nice parts again. And I'm just that was quite exciting. So let's get my hair back in normal shape. And yeah, so my hair's grown quite a bit, and I'm really happy, and I just love my hair. I've actually never done like a full twirl for you guys, so I hope that you can see the back of my hair, and it's it's getting nice and full, and I'm just all around happy with that. So how that went down is I had said before that my consultant and I were going to sort of discuss what the safest way forward is, and since that discussion, Dubai has allowed hair salons and other businesses to open back up for business, but the safety measures that they're taking is that only 2 clients are allowed in the salon at the same time, and so there's quite a fair bit of distance between you and the other client. Everyone had masks on, precautions were being taken. So we've been out of the lockdown phase for about 2 weeks now, and I just felt like I could trust my consultant, first of all, and I just thought that it would be the best thing for my hair because I had weird bits of thinning in the hairs at the back. Like I had shown, there was, I think, a bit of unraveling because that look of growth didn't match the rest of my head. So that was a decision I took, and I'm quite happy with it. And that will tide me over for the next couple of weeks. And getting into the get to know me, I'm only a couple of subscribers in, and I did ask for questions and didn't quite get those, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is just sort of the more obvious get to know me questions, and we'll kick it off from there. If you guys have anything else to ask, I'm happy to either respond in the comments or make another video if there's enough stuff that's asked. But let's start from the beginning. So what is my name? I don't think I've actually just like looked at my camera and said like my name is. So my name is Mbali Masichawankosi. Yes. And both my parents are Nguni, guys. My dad is Swati and my mom's Xhosa. And there's no real reason why I have a Sotho middle name besides the fact that my parents liked it. And they did the same thing for my 2 older siblings, which kind of segues into the next question. Do you have siblings? Yes, I am the last born of 3. So the oldest is my big sister, who I love so dearly, and she spoils me, and she's just the best person ever. And my big brother comes straight after her, and he's awesome and like a solid dude. And I think, one of the reasons why I will have sort of high expectations of dudes, him and my dad, I think really solid dudes right there. And the third question would be, where are you from? So like this used to be a really annoying question for me growing up, because you'd say, like I'm from Soweto, and then people would be like, yeah, but like where are you from? And it's like, some people are Joburg people. Like my mother's a Soweto girl. She was born and raised in Soweto as well. My grandmother's house is in Soweto. Like when you obviously on my dad's side, there is a homestead in Dabande, which is, I guess, not so far from Sheepmoor, which is not it's like a really tiny town, and that's not so far from Ermelo, which is also a very sleepy town, but one that's more likely to be known by more people than Sheepmoor. So, and it says Sheepmoor, ne? Sheepmoor is how it's spelled, but Dabande is Sheepmoor. So that's where the homestead is. That's where we go for like imisebenzi and things. And I do acknowledge it and love it as my homestead, but I didn't grow up there. It's a place that I've always gone to visit and come back from. Johannesburg is like home. I've never been outside of Johannesburg for more than 3 weeks at a time, because 3 weeks is kind of the limit of how long my holidays have been. So I am from Joburg through and through. And I lived there for 28 years of my life. So, okay. And where did I go to school? I went to school at the National School of the Arts, and I absolutely loved that place. It was the most amazing high school experience. I studied dance there, and my major was jazz, but I mean, we did the works: ballet, contemporary, African, Spanish, and it was, I met the craziest people. A lot of my best friends are from there, and it was just a melting pot of wacky people who weren't afraid to be themselves, and I think that it did a lot for my development as a person, because I feel like I grew up quite sheltered, and NSA opened my eyes to quite a lot. Obviously, your eyes can only be so open as a young girl. You know what I mean? Like, adulthood is still going to give you a couple of 1s and 2s, but I feel like I was better equipped after having gone to NSA, so shout out to my school. I want to sing the school song because it's so nice, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. And in university, I went to Wits. I'm a Witsie through and through, and I also loved Wits. Learned so much, did so much, and I studied law there. And, as everyone does, you get there really confident because you're a star pupil in school, and then Wits gives you the edge. And yeah, that edge is a tough one to fall off of. And so that was first year for me, like a big shock, like, oh, you actually have to try, you have to show up, you have to do your reading. And, when you get your first, like, 35%, like, that bumps in your throat, that humbles you, Wits gave that to me, and I came back after that fighting and got back to my former glory for the most part. And I speak about my son quite a bit on this channel. So, do you have children? Yes, I have one boy, and he's 10 years old. And he's amazing. He actually does some of my camera work. So if you watch the sugar waxing video, he's the one zooming in and out for me, and he's such a gent. And are you single? No, I'm not. I am married to a lunatic, but I'll keep him. And where do I currently live? I am in Dubai, and I came because I followed my lunatic. He moved here in 2016, came looking for a job, and the way that life turned out is that, we had the opportunity to come and figure ourselves out, and that's what we did. And so, I did just say that I studied law. So what do? I'm not a lawyer. I did my articles at a dope firm where I met really dope people. It just turned out not to be for me. I found myself just struggling quite a bit, not with the work itself, but just personally. I just couldn't reconcile the time that it took to be a lawyer and how much time I wanted to be able to live my life outside of work. I wasn't able to find that work-life balance, and that, coupled with being a young mom, just kind of, to me, didn't fit. There are a lot of young moms who make it work. There are a lot of young moms who are able to do it. So I think if you are a young mom who's studying law, like, don't be discouraged by my story. It was just a personal decision. And so I just decided not to do that. I went in-house for a little while. And then when I moved here, I just altogether decided I don't want to work in a fully corporate environment. And it's been a privilege to be able to make that decision. I was a stay-at-home mom for the better part of last year. Glad I was able to do that to settle my son in nicely, but again, that wasn't for me. And so now I'm freelancing. I'm a teacher, and I enjoy that quite a bit. I teach English to adults, and that's working out quite well. And one thing that I wanted the most, and I think this will be the biggest get to know me part of the get to know me, is I want a time to be able to just create, whether it be YouTube content, whether when I moved to Dubai, I was able to just model. I had never thought of myself as a model. I was able to model, take really great pictures that I didn't think that I would be capable of taking, and just sort of explore myself. And that's been my favorite thing so far. And making YouTube content has actually been a lot more like rewarding than I thought. I was so nervous to do it, with all these like whys and no's and just reasons not to do it and fear. And I think it's because for quite a while I had bought into the idea that it has to become something, it has to, get popular, go viral, and whatever, and that held me back quite a bit. And that's why I would start and stop and start and stop, because I would feel discouraged that, sort of it's not picking up. And it's like, why would it? You have 2 videos and you haven't really found your voice. But now it's become more of a function of keeping a promise to myself, like every week committing to something and then actually doing it. So yeah, and that's been my journey. That's brought me here. So yeah, it's been nice to do a little bit of sharing. And yeah, if you are a new follower, thank you for subscribing. And to all the people that followed before, thank you so much for coming along on the journey with me. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe.